everyone, this is Vicki, Stamp with Vicki, and Winston, my lovely Springer Spaniel, who is panting is alongside me. He comes in and hangs me when I'm stamping, and apparently it's time to play. Anyway, this is going to be my very first YouTube video, and what I'll be doing is really going back to the basics. I think I'm going to actually call it Stamping 101, the stamps. You know, I think we tend to forget people order things, and people who are new, you know, new customers come and they stamp and they really like it and they order things, and when they get them home, it's like, oh gosh, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. Okay, so we're gonna hopefully help with that. You can read it in a catalog and everything, but I think it's nice just to have somebody show you. And there's been some changes with the stamps this year. So we can talk about that too, and just how they're different and what to expect when you order stamps out of either the new catalog if you haven't ordered some in a little while, and oh my gosh, they're sticky as sticky can be, and you don't know what to do with it, and you don't want to ruin your stamps. So we'll go ahead and get started. The first stamps that we'll talk about are the wooden stamps. These are the stamps most of you probably know and love. I just picked sets at random today to show you and share with you. The wooden stamp sets are the oldest ones. These are the ones, oh, there we go. The original, Shelley actually said that they'd never get rid of them, and here we are, they're gone. Gone. Well, except for the background stamps, which I'll show you one of those in just a second. I think just over time and with the change in crafting, the clear stamps and the photopolymer stamps probably are just easier to use, and they're probably also less expensive to purchase and have made. So I guess, I mean, I don't know that those are the reasons, but anyway, so let me show you. These are the old wooden stamps. So if you have some, then you know. The real old ones, I think used to have to cut them out. I don't remember if they even came punched out. But nowadays they come punched out in a little piece of rubber, with foam rubber. You know, each stamp is punched out. You just punch it out and you can attach it right onto the matching sized block. And then it also comes with the little labels to show you what the stamp is, and you put it on to mirror your stamp so that you can see exactly what you're stamping. Excuse me. The images on the wooden blocks are very crisp. They're fantastic. They're harder to line up. You know, sometimes getting them straight is a little more difficult if you have to stamp a word, and you might just need a couple of practice goes with that. So let me see. Okay, I just want to kind of go. The blocks come with these stamps if you ever find them used or you know, whatever. So that's, I think, all about the wooden blocks as we say goodbye to those. Yeah, okay. Put that over here. The next thing I have is still a wooden block, but I'll show you. It's the background stamps, which at least for now, they're staying in the catalog as wooden, I think, or cling maybe. I'm not really sure how. I haven't even looked because I always buy the wooden background stamps. It's just old habits die hard, I suppose, and I like them, so I'm gonna, you know, continue to purchase those as long as they're available. But I did want to show you, in case you have one and you haven't used it yet, the easiest way to use one of these, and that is typically what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your ink, stamp your ink onto the block like so. And I almost don't have one. I do have a piece of scrap paper. And what you'll do is take whatever piece of paper, this one just happens to be a little bit smaller, it's just a scrap, but even if you're doing the whole background of a card, you're gonna lay it, make sure you get it straight, because you're gonna lay it on there, and then you're gonna use a piece of scrap paper and you're just gonna rub. Okay. And then you'll take that off. Oh gosh, I forgot my tool. Okay. You can use your fingers if you want to. I use a paper piercing tool, which I use for a lot, and voila. So you'll see it's pretty straight, easy to stamp, and the image is clear. Sometimes if you turn it over and you try to stamp with such a big stamp, again, it gets off center and a little bit crooked. So just one of those things that you don't know until you know. You maybe have stamped with these and might think that's easier. So hopefully you've learned a little something new today. Okay, I'm just gonna put that aside over here. The next stamps that I'm going to show you are the photopolymer stamps, and if you've been with stamping for a little while, you most likely know what these are. So there's a couple of things about these stamps. They are clear, which is fantastic, for a couple of reasons. Obviously you can see where you're stamping, and what's really fun about these, take a banner. I thought it'd be a great idea to show you with a banner. And what you can do is you can actually position them a little bit. You can bend and curve. So if we needed a smaller banner, you know, we could also bend and curve that. Words, you can do it with words if they're long enough, and that's kind of fun. And it won't hurt your stamp. So your stamp is going to be perfectly safe to do that. For example, and I didn't even notice this, but we have a banner in here, and so here's the banner, and it's a little bit rounded. I guess the words in here are rounded, but if you found, oh, this isn't, so you would go ahead and stamp that, and then you could take another word and make it fit. And you just give it a couple of goes with it. So that's one of the unique things about that. I don't typically do that very often, mostly because I forget. I think I would like to try it more. I've done it once or twice. Something sparks my memory and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to try that. So I thought that was really fun thing about the photopolymer stamps. Though another thing though to remember about them is they don't have the foam that the red rubber stamps do, okay? They're just solid photopolymer. And so what you will need to stamp on is some kind of a forgiving pad. You can use our Stampin' Pierce mats are fantastic for this. You know, worst case scenario, if you have an old mouse pad laying around, you can use that, just something with a little bit of give. The foam you can get for art projects, those little foam sheets, they look like cardstock, but they're foam. Those also have some give. So there's a few different ideas. I like our Stampin' Pierce mats because they don't give too much, but the other ones are options until you get something like that. So always, if you're going to use the photopolymer, use some kind of mat underneath, because it's likely that you will not be able, the image will not completely stamp. You'll miss some parts of the image. So that's just something to be aware of. That's happened to some of our customers, and it was a little sad, and they couldn't figure out why, and I had forgotten to tell them. So remember your pad. Another fun thing with the photopolymer stamps, this one is carrying over into the new catalog, Make a Difference. So useful. Yes, it is carrying over. Got scared for a second. Okay, I'm gonna take this off. What you can do is you can combine stamps. You could do an image and a sentiment, or you can do individual letters to create a word. So what I would do to do this is, there's your L. Yes, they're sticky. Okay, L, O, oh my gosh, there's my hair in the way. V and E. So we're gonna spell love. Instead of stamping it multiple times, kind of get it how you want it. You know, going back and stamping each letter on a different block. There we go. I'm gonna pull out that little piece of cardstock that I had. Oops, I lost the O, but you know what? They're photopolymer. That's why I put it on upside down. There we go. Got it. They're all lined up, I think. and you can spell love. You can play around with the spacing. It's really kind of fun. You can match two different sentiments, happy birthday, I love you a bunch, I don't know, something like that. But get creative with it. Get creative with it because there's a lot of possibilities for the photopolymer stamps, particularly the alphabet. It's a great set. Okay, so to make sure. Oh, you know what? You'll start to see too that I didn't pull one out, but the two-step stamping, when you're building an image, you'll notice that those are coming in photopolymer now. And that's nice because you can see you're stamping one on top of the other. Actually, I have a stamped image here. And those are photopolymer stamps, and you can see through it to line it up better because you're stamping on top of a previously stamped image. And you sometimes do that 2 times, sometimes 3 times. Excuse me. So that's another thing to be aware of when you're using the photopolymer stamps, that your 2-step stamps will come like that. Sometimes we even have 3- and 4-step stamps. And it's really, you know, once you figure out in what order they go, it's great. Okay, so next we have, okay, clear stamps. Clear stamps are gone. We are now using the cling stamps, but we are going to talk about clear because so many of you still have some. I still have some, and you should use them, of course. They come like this. So they're the familiar red rubber with the foam pad. That's the foam pad that I was talking about, but the photopolymer stamps do not have. So what you're gonna do to mount these, I'm gonna go ahead and mount one for you. Let's see, we'll do the little basket, flower basket. Okay. This is such a cute set, by the way. It's retiring. It's just very feminine, and it's just adorable with the bird. Anyway, so when you pop out the stamp, you're gonna pull off the backing to that, and that's a little bit sticky. Not really. Then what you normally do, so with the clear stamps, you're gonna pull off the sticker. This is how I do it. I guess I could have done it a different way. And then you're going to, you'll see that this side, that the image lays on top, it's just clear, it's not sticky. That's the difference between the clear stamps and the photopolymer stamps. I'll explain in a minute. All right, so then you're gonna go ahead and line up. I usually take off 1/2 and get myself lined up really well. Sometimes it takes a minute, my eyes are getting older. And sometimes I'm just crooked. And then you're gonna lay it down. They fit, yeah, I'm off a little bit here. They usually fit exactly. So you can flip this over. That's not going to stick when you use the clear stamps. That's gonna release just fine. It's not adhesive. The new cling stamps, you have to be really careful not to do that because it will stick and you're not gonna be able to get it apart. And I'll show you what I mean when I talk about the cling stamps. All right, so I'm just gonna take that off, put this down. So we have a clear mount stamp. So for the clear mount stamps and the photopolymer and the cling stamps, I did forget to mention this, is that you will need clear blocks. They come, we have many different sizes, so I'm not gonna fit. I need a bigger size. Okay, so the reason why we went with the Stampin' Up switch to the cling stamps was because what was happening is these stamps, the clear stamps, weren't really clinging to the blocks. They pop off really easily. So you would stamp them in ink and they might pop off. And so what would happen is you'd end up having to put a little bit of adhesive on the sticker and then wait, you know, go ahead and then it would stay, which you shouldn't have to do. And they realized that, and you know, they tried out the cling stamps and it seems to be working well so far. There's a couple of tricks to them, but like I said, I'll talk about that in just a second. So if you had the clear stamps, I used to always just take if we had it's retired now, 2-way glue and put it on and let it dry, and that made it sticky. But you can just put just a little, you know, bit of your snail adhesive, and it'll stick to the block just fine, and it will not hurt your block. If any, you know, adhesive residue gets on it, you can just use an alcohol wipe or an alcohol with cotton ball, or if some of you have lemon oil at home, the essential oil craze, you could use that too if you need to, but you shouldn't need to do that. Okay, so these, again, the clear mounts, they're still out there, absolutely, but they are retired as of, I think, the Occasions catalog, they retired them, if memory serves. Okay. I think that's all with those. And last but not least are the cling mount stamps, which are super similar to the clear mount stamps. Goodness me, am I keeping this all straight? Again, you also need a block. I'm going to need a smaller block, so I'm going to take, we'll do one of those. Okay. The difference is sticky, 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 sticky. Cling equals super, super sticky. Sticky. Remember, they're sticky. Okay. Sticky. Oh, that didn't come out. Sticky, see? So they're going to stick to your stamps. So I'm going to show you what to do when you're mounting them, how to go ahead and mount them, and a trick to getting them off your stamps. Let's see. Do one, let's do kind of a bigger one. Oh, what word did I get? Sympathy. Well, that's a sad word. Okay. So I'm going to pull this stamp out of the foam pad. And I am going to remove the backing on this one. Make sure I'm, okay. Oh, I don't need to do that. What I'm now going to do is, you will notice for the new cling mount stamps, you can still, there's still a little slit where you can just tear off half of the backing on the sticker. So just do half. What I like to do, I hope you can see this, what I like to do is take my time, line up my word, my stamp very carefully. If you put that down too hard, it's not coming off, it's staying. Okay, so then what I do is I pull the whole thing off. That's pretty good, pretty straight. And remember when I was showing you the clear stamp and I said, oh, you can push this over to take off the sticky side. On these, you cannot, because if these come down and stick together, they're coming down and they're staying together. You're not gonna be able to get it off, and that'll just be a pain with your stamp. So I will do one of two things. I'll put my thumb on one side, or a fingernail or a tool, something to prevent it from sticking. And then, well, no, look what I just did, which I haven't. This is the first time that's happened. I let it go. And did you see that? It's actually kind of good that that happened. You see how that's pulling? You're just gonna have to let it be, because you wanna make sure you leave your stamp intact. A trick, if you get a sticker on your stamp and it's crooked, just use the actual stamp itself when you're lining it up, and that'll help, and just give yourself a practice shot or two at it. Here we are. So again, super sticky, which is good because then it stays on the stamp. It lets you, or on the clear block, it lets you stamp, it lets you clean it, and you can scrub on it and it's not coming off. It's staying right on there. We're gonna go ahead and mount it. Well, I just put it on, but if you actually leave these on for a while, they get stickier and they stick to the blocks pretty significantly. So take some kind of tool. I have a paper piercing tool from Stampin' Up. You could take, oh, I almost took my water. The scissors. You could take just regular old tweezers. Any kind of little sharp tool, a knife if you have one. You probably don't need a knife. And just lift up on it to remove it. And then it comes off fine. It comes off easily. So that's, I guess, the only, but like the biggest caveat to these stamps is getting them off and mounting them. So once you practice and you do that, you're gonna get really good at it, and it is easy. Just be mindful of the level of stickiness, and that, you know, if it goes on crooked, you're just gonna have to deal with it. If you pull it up, it's gonna pull part of your stamp up, and you don't wanna ruin your stamps. So, but I really do like them. I like how they stick to the blocks, and you know, cause me, I'd lose them when they fell off and things like that. So I'm kind of happy about it. Well, I guess that's it. I didn't do a card today just because it's really a 101 super, super basic class. Anyway, so thank you so much for stopping by. I hope this helps. Have a great day.